Hey Capricorns, and welcome to your June 2017 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky, and I'm here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. I was so happy to talk to you guys last month. The reception for Capricorn's May reading was really good on my channel, and I really appreciated your compliments, you guys. I was really happy to defend you, and I was really happy to give you some positive insight for what was happening, because I know that a lot of people are not so positive for you right now. Everybody's really real and negative, but a lot of people aren't willing to give you any kind of very strong encouragement or optimistic views right now. We are preparing for Saturn to go into your sign in come like September, I think, October, around that time. Saturn will move direct out of Sagittarius and be heading towards Capricorn. I don't know the exact date yet, but it is coming at the latter part of 2017. So there's a lot for you guys to do right now. There's a lot of momentum for you to set in your life before Saturn starts really getting into your sign. And I'll really start talking about this more once I look at the exact dates and once I see it really get closer, probably around August or September. But in the grand scheme of things, Capricorn, the time is coming pretty quickly, and you've really got to understand what needs to be in your life and what needs to be out of your life, what direction you need to move and what direction you don't need to move. You should have a very keen sense for this right now. It shouldn't be that hard, but it's really come down to you trying to understand what you're putting other people through or what other people are putting you through. Because you don't want to be the villain, you don't want to be the antagonist, and you're afraid that if you do what's right for you, that you're kind of seen as a villain or you're seen as an antagonist. And it's not the case right now, actually, with Saturn and Sagittarius. I think that some of it is a little bit of like a fear in you from the past. You know, Pluto being in your sign for so long now, you've had a very strong like doom and gloom around you, and there will be a time when Saturn and Pluto will be conjunct in Capricorn, so that will be a very defining time of your life. As money and finances go, that can be very powerful, that can be very strong, and we're building up to a period of time, Capricorns, where you can really up your financial status to be something that is extremely powerful. Now, not all of you want that, but it is the reality of that transit. You can gain a lot of power. Also, a lot of power can be taken. It really depends on your momentum. But the archetype of power and power through money, power through relationships, it's definitely something that becomes real in your life and has been for a while with Pluto. But when Saturn applies to that, it's only going to become stronger. And one thing that you won't be, Capricorn, is weak. Some of you might feel a little bit drained right now. Some of you might feel a little bit imbalanced. That should be very much helped once Saturn gets into Capricorn. I think that Saturn in Sag is very destabilizing for you. Probably Saturn in Scorpio was as well. So, you know, the last 5 years having that plus the Pluto in Capricorn, I think that you've had to play it safe. And it's been good to play it safe. It's been good to be a bit conservative with your energy. But with Saturn doing this last retrograde in Sag right now, Sagittarius isn't very conservative. Sagittarius is very much explosive, so it seems like there's something you can do right now, Capricorn, that is a bit more outward, a bit more assertive, without messing up the momentum that you're on. It's going to be really important to see things for the way that they are this month. Are there some relationships in your life that cannot move forward? Are there some that you thought couldn't, that actually have more potential than you realized? It seems that by gaining a stronger sense of self, you know, you've got Seven of Cups there, which can indicate potentially losing sight of yourself a little bit when you're prioritizing other people or being too focused on like the exterior gain versus the interior gain. That's the only difficult issue with Seven of Cups, but it can be good. It can represent having a lot on the horizon, having a lot of excess come into your life. You just have to watch for an overindulgent nature. Funnily enough, you guys have the exact same first week as Leo. Leo had Seven of Cups rooted down by Three of Swords as well. So you and Leo seem to be going through a very similar experience right now. So maybe you can relate with Leo. Maybe if you have some Leos in your life, you can either learn from them or relate to them, and vice versa. But again, for general energies, it seems like you guys might have almost started a new relationship, but it fell through. You've got Ace of Cups reversed in your reading, which is a new relationship or a new emotional rejuvenation happening, often vicariously through other people. Something about that may have not panned out, or you're worried that it won't. You're worried that new relationships are going to fall through in the way that past relationships did. You might also feel treated a bit unfairly this month because you have justice reversed. You might be feeling like the people around you are not thinking about what's fair. They're thinking about personal gain. It's good to not be so focused on personal gain right now, period. Or to maybe redefine what personal gain means for you, Capricorn. I think that money, or it's like your philosophy is changing one way or another on the subject. Like if money has really been what's influential on your idea of personal manifestation, then that's sort of changing this month. If it was like attracting a partner who thinks this or that, that was influential on your personal gain, that's changing. It's very much like shifting sectors for you. The Emperor is also in your reading, Sag. You have the Emperor, Temperance, and Justice as your 3 major arcana, which I always say if it's 3 or more, it's going to be a very strong month to remember. So I think that June will be very powerful for you guys this month. Overall, you're in a reflective place, which you guys have been in for such a long time now. I really want to see you guys come out of your shell a little bit. I want to see you guys open up and maybe let go and balance the difficult experience that you've had with something that's more optimistic and spontaneous. I think that Saturn and Sag kind of does demand that a little bit. If you're too withdrawn in your shell, if you're too receptive or passive right now, you kind of can become a little bit of like a basket case, or you're going to start doubting your own opinions, which isn't necessarily good right now. So I think that some safe, outward, assertive action is okay for you guys. I think that for the single Capricorns, it's okay to maybe date a little bit. It's okay to maybe go out with that person who you wouldn't usually. Some kind of change. With not necessarily that much on the line, maybe rerouting your philosophy towards like, okay, this person that I'm going to go out with, it needs to be something serious. If I'm going to go out with somebody, it's got to be a long-term thing. I'm not going to just go out and then without knowing enough about them to assume that they're going to be a good person. Like there's a bit of like too rigid structures around like how you're relating to people, which is understandable because through Pluto and Capricorn, you've come into contact with a lot of relationships that were very like a downward spiral, or just really destabilizing. But there is a safety net here for you guys, which is really nice for me to see. Only if you cannot get caught up in like indulgences, like being overly indulgent and losing track of yourself, and only if you cannot be too brought down by your expectation of new relationships. Like kind of just looking around and maybe going into autopilot a little bit, and through that, not having an expectation of what people will or will not do. Enjoy yourself in the moment and then come out with like a strong self-center in yourself. That's going to really benefit you guys this month. Detach a little bit from the expectation. I'm saying to pretty much all the signs this month because it's a very collective issue with Saturn retrograde in Sag. It's the best time to not need much from anybody. You know, and it's hard because we're coming from like Saturn in Scorpio and Jupiter in Virgo way back when, and even in through Jupiter in Libra, where we're like very focused on like needing something from somebody else, or where we needed to be constantly uplifted in some way. And it seems like just losing that and not even necessarily losing your sense of self is enough to introduce the 3 of Swords archetype into your life, where you're feeling very backstabbed and betrayed and just pulled down into a doom and gloom type of cycle. And I really think that there's a very logical, easy fix to this, Capricorn, a very simple change in perspective. Even just something so simple as somebody defending you in like the comment section of YouTube. It's like that's enough to really inspire you guys, and in a different kind of way, because obviously a YouTube comment, you guys get that that's nothing, but at the same time you get that that's everything, because you're kind of struggling with your faith in humanity a little bit, and I feel that you have since 2016 or the summer of 2016 in a new way. You can really gain that back, Capricorns, if you allow some kind of weird change to happen, something that's very eccentric or something that's different but doesn't completely take you out of your element. It's a very powerful time to have very small, minute changes that make a big impact, okay? I'm going to go ahead and look at this reading for you guys from the week to week, and we will get more specific there. First week, as we said, 7 of Cups, rooted down by 3 of Swords reversed. I kind of already talked a lot about that, but just don't lose sight of yourself. You see the figure in 7 of Cups is dark. It's in shadow, but what's very obvious is what's on the horizon. This indicates too much focus on what's coming to you and not enough focus on like how you're coming to it. That being rooted down by the 3 of Swords, it tells me that the reason that you've lost focus on yourself is because it's like the people who you loved or the people that you were in the romantic relationship with for the single Capricorns or the broken up Capricorns, you learned a lot about yourself in that relationship, and that relationship being taken from you or feeling like it was taken from you, losing it, whatever, because of what you learned about yourself during the relationship. To lose the relationship, it's like you lost what you learned about yourself. That's what your conscious mind is trying to tell you, but it's not the case. For the coupled Capricorns, it's like there's a very blurry line between what you're learning about yourself in your current relationship versus what the other person needs. It seems that there's a lot needed from you right now, Capricorn. For the coupled Capricorns, for those of you who are in the relationships, there's a lot needed from you right now, and you can't lose your sense of self in what's needed from you. That can even be for like single Capricorns with family dynamics, or even like platonic dynamics. A lot of people need something from you right now, Capricorn, and you're possibly not in a place to give it. You've got to make sure that you've shown the light on yourself, or you have a strong, stable foundation in which you can give to yourself before you're giving to other people. In the first week, I feel that you see this very clearly, or you have the option to see it very clearly. It would be good to see that versus the riches that might be on the horizon or the changes that are on the horizon, because do remember, what's on the horizon is ever changeable and ever adaptable. The horizon has not yet happened, and very subtle small actions in the present can completely reroute you. So keep that in mind. Don't rely too much on what's coming, rely on what's here now. Second week, Ace of Cups reversed, rooted down by Temperance. That's really beautiful in its way. I see you guys being a little bit nostalgic or being in a state of commemoration, as Cancer is here too, which is your opposite sign. I would recommend that you guys maybe watch Cancer's reading. I think you can learn a lot there. A lot of people, I think, collectively are going through this right now because I think summer of 2016 was very pivotal for most people. Losing the relationship, having a complete shift, big moves and changes in location that were very powerful in what becomes your own history. You might be tempted to mourn or grieve something difficult that happened last summer, or it could have even been like a few years ago. But there might be a date coming up. It could even be like out of June, but you know that it's oncoming. For some of you, it is in the second week of June for sure, where you had like the death of a loved one or the end of a relationship or the end of a way of life. And it's like you really come to yourself. And I think that you're doing it almost better than anybody, Capricorn. I think that you're more willing to look at how far you've come versus what you've lost. And that's where you need to be. I think the first week of June is a big wake-up call, because I think that Ace of Cups and Temperance together is a very, very good counterweight to the Seven of Cups and Three of Swords together. It's like through that feeling of loss and loss of self-insight, you suddenly have something click in you, like a sort of very profound light bulb turns on in your spiritual experience. And I think you can really sit with yourself and understand where you were, what happened in a completely different scheme of reality. And through that, you can really move forward in a new, much more stable way. Wow, I really think June is going to be great for you guys. I think that you guys are kind of the front runners. It was you guys and Sagittarius is in a way, but it's completely different. And Gemini, the Gemini Sag line and the Capricorn Cancer line are, I would say, the most powerful right now, and they're in a strange way. But you guys, Capricorn alone, are really very, I don't even really know what the word is to say. It's like English is failing me to really convey what exactly your purpose in the energetic world is right now, Capricorn. But it has something to do with really working the groundwork. I kind of think of like a jungle ecosystem or something where you have like levels and like the birds and stuff that are like really high up in the trees, like their point of view versus your point of view, which is very much like on the ground and looking up versus other people like looking down. So, which is very interesting for you. And I don't really mean to say that as like you're below in an ego way, but you really are like below everybody, which is not bad. I don't let your ego catch on to that. You're really looking up at people and you're really seeing it from a different view. So it's really powerful for you right now, and you can do a lot there. You can easily ascend. Like if you don't want to be there, it seems like you can be higher up, but I think that you have something very strong to learn from that. But you do kind of grow wings, though. You have temperance in your readings. So that's a possibility for you. But again, second week, Ace of Cups rooted down by temperance. On the more mundane level, it's good to really hydrate yourself. Both of those cards have to do with hydration and being dehydrated and needing more water. Get by the water. Some of you might go on vacation. Some of you might be by the ocean or the beach. That's really good for you. You can heal through the water element this month for sure. Third week, you guys have Justice reversed, rooted down by King of Swords reversed. It's more potent in the third week. It's more easy to see the way that other people are working around you. It's not so emotional. It's not so constricted into the ethereal world, which is good for you guys. I think things have been too emotional. They've been too outside you in like the emotional, energetic way. It's not good to focus too much on what is and isn't fair, because I think due to your perspective right now, you're not having... I don't want to say that you guys don't have a good sense of justice, not the case at all, but you don't have the people around you that you can really convey that to right now. Those people do come in. I'm not sure that it will be in June, though. Like, understand your sense of justice within yourself, and beyond that, there's not so much a need to communicate it, because, and also for legal battles or for people or Capricorns involved in the legal system right now, it's better to be like as like specific and consistent as possible, not being so emotional. Although King of Swords is reversed, which can represent the logical side of the situation not really panning out, you might need a more emotional connection with like your lawyer or with whoever is on your team. But beyond that, it needs to be very logically based. The third week can also be a powerful month for creating new unions or creating new bonds. If people do come in, you can really use your words powerfully to create something that you've never had before. So that will be really nice to see for you guys. There's also an underlying sense of constantly trying to understand what was or wasn't right in your past, as Seven of Pentacles is your middle card. That's why I'm kind of talking about you guys maybe getting out of your shell, or sort of casually being around other people in a way that doesn't constrict you or require some kind of strong amount of time in the future, because you're thinking so much about the past and about what was or wasn't fair. You're balancing things. Having justice and temperance in your reading is a constant balancing act, and like weighing out the other person's perspective versus your perspective. You know, it's good for a very short amount of time, but you guys will just be on each side of it over and over and over again, it seems like. So the fourth week, you guys have the Emperor rooted down by Four of Pentacles. There is quite a similarity between the way that those cards look. They're both sitting on somewhat of a throne, it looks like. They're both holding something, except one obviously has so much more power, and that being the Emperor, because it is the major arcana. But there is a stillness that needs to be acknowledged in the fourth week for sure. You're holding on to something. So through the third week, you might come to some kind of new conclusion or judgment about what your experience was, and I think you're really sitting with it in the fourth week, or you're really trying to digest it, I would say, because the Four of Pentacles is all about digesting something or holding on to something and making something new out of it. Watch for power plays in the fourth week. Your ego might really try to take control of you. I think that disconnecting from it so much and being more casual with people and not needing such a strong connection is going to make your ego be kind of like, wow, this feels different. Let's suddenly revert back into the way that we used to be. Watch out for that. It seems like you can apply this energy to the way that you're manifesting your goals, your career, or something that's more inanimate. I wouldn't so much try to apply that energy to people around you. You can hold on very strongly to opinions or judgments with Four of Pentacles. You can also hold grudges. That's sort of what I always think of with Four of Pentacles. This is really good for saving money. It seems that your finances are going to make a really big turn this month if you're struggling. And even if you're not struggling, it does seem like you get more, or you can budget more for yourself, or you save more. It is a really good month for you guys to save. Also, with Seven of Pentacles being your central theme, you're really looking at what you've gathered up. You're really reflecting on everything that has come into your possession during the last few years, probably. So it's good to be proud of yourself, and it's good to continue that saving mindset if that seems right to you. But Four of Pentacles is always a very big crossroads because it says, okay, it's good to save, it's good to conserve, but it also says that you've saved enough and you can let go if you choose. So it really becomes up to you, Capricorn. Either one is as good an idea as the other in its own way. So I think June is a really big pivotal learning month for you guys, where you understand balance in your past and present, where you're not losing sight of yourself, hopefully, ultimately, where you're not too hyper-focused on the horizon, but at the same time you're moving towards it, and you're finding what is here now versus what's on the horizon. You do have a safety net this month, Capricorn. You are safe to proceed. You are safe where you're at. So use this time to think of something on the horizon that will be really good and power towards it in a way that doesn't just have power in the future, but you're empowered now. And I think you guys will do really great. You are, again, very powerful right now compared to everybody else. Very spiritually powerful, very financially powerful for a lot of you. And for some of you, very egoically powerful as well, which I'm not here to say whether that's good or bad, but it's real for you guys one way or another. And I'm always here to defend you guys. I hope that you're not being antagonized like last month. I hope that you're not made out to be the villain, because you are not this month for sure. And in the recent past, you really can't be. I mean, you can be with Pluto in your sign, but you have to own up to it. And people just assume that you haven't, which you have. I'm rooting for you guys. If you would like to book a private reading with me, you can do that on this page now. Also, you can watch your sun, moon, rising sign if this didn't add up for you completely. Or you can subscribe to my channel. Much love to you guys. I so appreciate your likes and comments, and I will be seeing you in July. Bye.